It's like I saw Joe Cocker open for The Who as the second act before anybody had known who he was, and he blew everybody's mind. That was an amazing show.
I know I went to
One-Eyed Jacks, you never saw? That was one of the great westerns ever made. Really true.
No, I like Hanson too. I think
But you know,
The West Side Story, the music, West Side Story is the greatest music of the 20th century.
and also Zappa. All the Zappa shows I ever saw were amazing.
yeah.
One of the great.
I saw Moby Grape at the Grande Ballroom. There was like 40 people in the audience. That was an amazing show.
Yeah.
First album is a stunning record. It's a really amazing record. I saw the Supremes open for Alan King, and they were terrific. I mean, they were amazing. And the Doors, I like all of their
Oh, there's 4 then.
recordings.
The Doors.
The Doors, and I like all of Led Zeppelin's recordings and all of Steely Dan's, except for one. Demo recordings of their songs, just with Fagen playing piano and singing, and they're remarkable.
It's not
Three
true.
Dog Night. Three Dog Night, one of the greatest rock shows I ever saw in my entire life, ever.
And where was this?
At the Grande Ballroom.
The Beatles look
Were
slick.
glamorous. They sure were.
They look- the Beatles
I
were
remember
slick.
seeing them in '64 at the Olympia Stadium in Detroit, and when they came on stage, they fairly shimmered.
Yeah.
They really
I mean, the Beatles
did.
look slick.
'64, they shimmered.
Beatles.
There was a glow
Yeah.
that came off of them,
Well,
and
let
it was
me-
otherworldly.
let me-
And I love Creedence. They're amazing.
One of the
April-
great shows I've ever seen was Prince at the Palladium in New York at the beginning of the controversy, before
Yeah.
the album Controversy came
Yeah,
out.
right, yeah.
That was an amazing show.
Oh, but this show,
From the Mamas and the Papas to the Mothers of Invention, and everybody in between, they made better records than anybody in San Francisco, except perhaps Moby Grape.
The last Rockford Files that I saw, the updated Rockford, it's really rough, and that's the greatest, to me, that's the greatest show ever on television.
There was a record released recently by Nelson,
That'd be the
Nelson Kids era, and it's a tremendous record. It's just a great pop record.
Well, I'm trying
About
not to-
6 months ago, you had Pat Boone on the show, and if he did nothing else but act in Journey to the Center of the Earth, he's all right in my book, you know, as far as I'm concerned.
I never saw it.
19 years old monster.
George Clooney is a real talent.
We're talking about
Ricky,
Sweaters that he
Ricky
had,
Nelson
those big-
played like a real bad guy, and I think it was the streets of San Francisco.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Before that, he was in Rio Bravo, and he was great.
Yeah.
He was awful in that.
Oh, he was great.
He was a goon.
Oh no, he was. That's one of my favorite westerns. He
No,
was
that was
great.
water.
Explain to him he was
Speaking
wrong.
of Paul Anka, have you ever seen that movie that he made
Where he
about
was like a peeping
bad
Tom?
girl? Oh, no, yeah, it was like a bad girls.
Yeah, it was like High School Confidential.
Exactly,
It
and
wasn't
he
that,
sang
but-
a song. It's so wonderfully bad. It's amazing.
I happened to be at a great Chuck Berry show in '69, though. He played in Detroit with what was like a proto-heavy metal band, and they were unbelievable. And it even kicked him in the butt because he dug it. It was just spectacular. But getting back to the Who, the Who are my favorite, other than the Beatles and Dylan. The Who are probably my favorite band. I saw them more times, but the Who were great live. Jeff Beck Group were great live. Traffic were amazing live. And you know what? I'd be the first guy in the world to go, that's great.